going on, guys? Hope you are having a great day out there today, guys. We're doing a little work and a few upgrades on the Typhon 6S. This car is getting a pretty good beating recently. You know, between track time down there, and recently we just did the hobby shop jump with this thing and launched it over top of the hobby store down there. And guys, I mean, the thing performed awesome. It's been a ton of fun. Car has treated me really well, and I mean, guys, whenever you just want to send it, I mean, this is the car. This thing is just a blast. It's like a rocket. But anyway, guys, the last couple times I've had it out, and lastly, at the hobby shop jump, the chassis didn't really get bent too much from the hobby shop jump. It was bent a little bit before that. Any of you guys have seen any of the previous videos with this thing, I landed on top of a fence. I hit the top of a fence post. It's gotten beat around, and this chassis has already been changed out once. I stuck a new stock one underneath it, but this one is starting to get twisted up now also. So I figured it is time to give this thing a proper chassis. This thing is a blast. I love running this thing. So decided to order up a new M2C racing chassis for this thing. I put one of these under the Outcast 8S down here, and it has just been a beast. We tagged a tree head on with that thing, and the guys, the chassis just hold up awesome. Really love the M2C chassis. Also, had broke the rear center brace on it, and as you can see, it kind of had a long bolt going through it. I had to kind of cut it out, or drill it out, should I say, to get it to hold in there temporarily. So I ordered up also a new M2C rear chassis brace for this thing. So starting fresh, starting with everything nice and straight. So we're going to go ahead and get this thing fit out. I'm not going to bore you guys along the way. I'll bring you guys back in piece by piece as I'm kind of getting stuff disassembled and getting it back together again. But we're going to go ahead and start tearing this thing down, and I'll bring you guys back shortly. All right, guys. Well, I went and got the rear end pulled off this thing. Really easy. Just pull out your rear center brace, the top one on the back of the top of the bulkhead. Pull your 4 screws out the bottom. Now you got your whole rear end completely taken off and ready to transfer over the new chassis. Now I'm going to go ahead and disconnect my steering linkage and the front center brace, undo that bolt, and then go ahead and take out the 6 screws that hold in the whole front on this thing, and we'll get the front removed off of this thing next. And then we'll get the front and the rear transferred over the new chassis. And then we'll go ahead and get the electronics and the rest of the stuff pulled up. But I'll bring you guys back when get the front end off of here. So I figured I'd do a short little intermission rant here for a second. So guys, on that last video you guys seen with the Talon, I said that Horizon told me they were sending me a new ESC. Then I get a following email back from them telling me that they want me to send it back into them for them to assess warranty coverage or repairing it. And telling me that it's going to take up to a month before they even get it looked at or repaired. Now, this is exactly my issue. Now, I said to hell with them and went and bought a new Hobby Wing combo with this 1650 kV setup in here. It'll be here probably the next day or two. But this is exactly my problem. Their electronics are total trash. They're garbage. And they charged me $750 for this car. And now the electronics are bad, and now they're not warranting it or have to assess it. Now, I just spent all that money on that car. I ran it twice. It's now down, and they're wanting me to wait all this time to possibly get it covered and get this thing back up and running again. I mean, guys, this is just... It hit a real sore spot with me. Really irritating that they first tell me that they're going to send me one and then change their mind and then want me to wait time and time and time to get this thing up and running after I just bought this thing. Now, I know a lot of you are going to say, oh, well, that you should have done it in the first place. You know, this electronics are garbage. You should have bought, just put something else in there aftermarket. I know, and that's exactly my point. They should have not made this thing an RTR. It should have been a roller like it deserved to be and putting good electronics in it from the start. All right, rant over. Let's get back to the Typhon, guys. Also, guys, if you're going to change these over, especially if the screws have been in there and nice and snug for a while, make sure you get yourself a good set of tools, because pulling some of these screws out, you will end up rounding these screw heads out very easily with a bad set of tools. Make sure that they are seated in there the whole way to the very bottom before trying to crank them out, because you'll just end up stripping the heads off and running into a not so fun time. So make sure you get yourself a good set of tools. If you're going to work on the cars yourself, very important. I usually go over most of them. The stuff that I know that could be kind of an issue coming out, hit them with the hand driver first and get them loosened up, and then I'll hit them with the drill. But definitely get yourself a good set of tools. The MIPs, you cannot beat these. Makes great tools, great products, guys. So do yourself a favor and get yourself a set of those. Definitely will save yourself a lot of headaches and a lot of problems in the long run. So we got the 6 main screws out of the bottom here. Going to go ahead. I already disconnected my servo, pulled the servo horn off, and disconnected my front center brace. So she should be just about ready to come out. Oh, I forgot. You also got these 2mm ones here to get the front hinge pin brace unmounted off of the chassis. There are just 2 up here, and then this whole front end should pop right off of here. I'm going to try not to make this video too long. I was going to originally do this on a live stream, but things got a little chaotic with time, and decided to do it this way. So, there we go. Got the whole front end now off of here, and she's ready to go. So, got the front bumper off of there, but while this is off, it's always a good idea. Make sure you put new grease in your differential cases. Make sure those things got nice and lots of lubrication in there. Check over all your screws. Make sure everything's nice and tight, and get her back together again. So I'm going to go ahead and move this thing out of the way. And I think next we'll bring out the new chassis and start getting everything mounted up on this, guys. I'll bring you guys back. We're going to start mounting stuff up on here. Man, guys, just look at that chassis. It is just an absolute work of art. I mean, they do such nice machining work on these chassis. It is just unbelievable. Also in the package, guys, if you wonder what the little package is with the 4 screws in here, they are your new droop screws. So good idea to change those out on your A-arms so that it gives a little more, that bigger button head on there gives a lot more space, to hit on the chassis. So definitely be changing those out. You can do them, probably need to do them before. It'd probably be easiest to get them changed out beforehand, but I'm going to go ahead and get these things mounted up here, and we'll get it ready to go. I know these are just as droop screw, but they are rather important to save your A-arms and keep from wearing out the chassis. As you guys can see, I mean, that tiny little one is the stock one, and now you have these nice big button caps on there. Now you just start them in there by hand from the bottom, and then reverse them. Basically, if you're using a drill, put it in reverse to thread them up into there. But definitely important to get those swapped over, guys. Will help save the chassis and help save your A-arms. This is a grease I've been using a lot. I've been really happy with this stuff so far. It's been the Quicksilver Marine Grease 24C with PTFE, whatever that is. But I've been really happy with this grease. It holds up really well. It sticks in there nicely, and it's waterproof. So go ahead and just give a couple of dabs on there, little blob. Running around there nice and smooth. Everything's moving really nice and free. There's no tight spots, and this does have the hot racing differential case on here that I shimmed, and everything's nice and tight. So the back is ready to go on there. We'll go ahead and throw some grease on the front here also. Run her backwards a little bit. Again, the front's running nice and smooth. The front is the stock plastic differential case, but I did shim it, and everything feels nice and smooth. There's no play in there and everything. So we'll go ahead and get these things mounted up to the new chassis, and I'll bring you guys back when I get those mounted up. I'm not going to bore you with going through all that. I'll show you as I kind of go in stages here. She's coming together. We got the front bolted up. Everything fit up beautiful. Everything lines up real nice. They always do with the M2C chassis, guys. I mean, I know there's other chassis out there. I've just really grown to like the M2C stuff. I've had really good luck with it. And, you know, I know there's lots of others. There's a few other brands out there, chassis. But this is just what, you know, I've been using and I've been real happy with and had good luck with. So that's why I continue to run it. But we're going to go ahead and get the back bolted up next and bring you guys back then. All right. Well, she's a roller again, so that's one step in the right direction. Now I'm going to go ahead and get all the electronics, everything pulled out of here. I'm going to go ahead and get the motor and the center drive pulled out of this thing and usually transfer that over and then pull the ESC and ESC out. The ESC and the servo out and get that stuff transferred over. And usually the battery box and stuff I leave for last. But it's usually good just to take your receiver box along with all that because that way you don't have to disconnect anything in here when you transfer that stuff over, guys. Okay, well, I got everything all unscrewed out of here. You know, I kind of misspoke, I guess, in the beginning if you're paying attention, but both of these got to come out in one piece if you want to not have to disconnect anything in the receiver. But it's easy enough. You just, you know, keep the frame upside down, just pull all your small 2mm screws out of there, and it all comes out in one nice chunk. lay it on top of the new one, and reverse the process, guys. Very easy. Yeah, that's one great thing. These cars are super easy to change chassis out and work on. And this is how I pulled the motor out, just in one big clump. I also did upgrade the center differential support here with the aluminum one, because the plastic one got a little tweaked up. So put the aluminum one on here. So making some improvements to this car, make it a little bit stronger, a little bit better. And I'm going to go ahead and send her again. I can't wait to give this thing another launch. The only thing I'm missing at the moment is my front drive shaft. I found the rear one after the hobby shop jump. It sprung out finally and finally located. But the front one was bent. Looked like, resembled a banana. So that one should be in here tomorrow also, down at my local hobby shop down there, Playthings, etc. He ordered me those in. They did take a little while to come in because everything's taking a while to come in. But anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and slap these on top of the new chassis, get these bolted up, and get this thing back together. Okay, well, she's coming along pretty well here. We got the battery box and the receiver box and the ESC and the servo all mounted back up in her again. Right now I'm just getting ready to screw the side skirts back onto there. And then we're going to go ahead and get the motor and center diff and everything mounted up in here. And I can get my rear drive shaft in there. I'm just going to have to wait to get the front one in there, obviously, till tomorrow. But I want to get all this put together so that hopefully tomorrow I can get the center drive shaft in this thing, the front one, and take this thing out for a rip again before I have to leave again on Wednesday for work. So want to get most of 99% of it done now so I can have some fun tomorrow. Okay, well, we got the side skirts all mounted back up on there. We got the front center brace mounted back in there again. Everything fit up nicely. Getting ready to mount up the new M2C rear one I'm going to get put on there. And then we're going to go ahead and get the electronics, the motor in center diff mounted back up in here again. And the rear drive shaft. But I guess really next I'll bring you guys back when she's all finished up, guys. Guys, as I was putting this rear center brace on here, realize these are the nice little things that, you pay for. And the thought is put behind it just for that extra, extra strength and not having to deal with problems. That not only does your screw thread into the rear chassis brace, but there's also a locking nylon nut that goes on top. So that there's less likely that this thing is going to come loose, start banging around, and shear that screw off, which will then cause bendage and breakage. So it's those little things like that that really make a big difference in a product and how it performs. Man, guys, the Typhon 6S is back together in all its wonderful high-flying glory. We got the new M2C racing chassis under this thing, and guys, it just looks beautiful and fit up absolutely perfect. Everything matched up nicely. Got the M2C Racing rear center brace on this thing now. So I got rid of that junky plastic one that kept breaking. I have a hot racing one on the front right now, so I'll probably upgrade this one at some point too, because it's kind of weird that they put a 2.5 millimeter in the center brace, but then go down to a 2 on the front. And this is always the weak spot. I wish that they'd have made that a 2 millimeter or 2.5 millimeter screw also on the front, just to help reinforce that. Even if you got to drill that out, I think it'd definitely be worth it. So probably be upgrading the front one at some point too. But guys, she's all back together. Tomorrow my front center drive shaft will be in, and she'll be all back together again and ready for a rip again. Can't wait to take this thing out and give her a test with the new chassis. Also, guys, if you're looking for tires for your Typhon 6S, these tires have been the best ones I have found so far. Are these Proline MX? They've been holding on there great. They don't blow off the rims like so many of the other ones I had did. They get unreal traction, especially on like that looser dirt. Motocross track to BMX tracks, stuff like that. These things hook up awesome. So, really happy with these tires. But we'll grab that center drive shaft tomorrow, and she'll be back up and running again. Hopefully, I'll take this thing out of here before I leave again. We'll get together, a video on this thing and take it out there for a rip again and have some fun with the Typhon 6S. Also, as I was saying in my little rant, the Talon will be up and running again here very soon. I really like the car now with the 4S backflips on it, but the power system in that thing, it's kind of garbage. I have really mixed feelings about the Spectrum electronics. Some of them, I've had good luck with. For instance, the Typhon 6S here. I have really put this thing to its test, running this thing on the speed runs and really, pulling that amperage. And the ESC and the motor have held up awesome on this thing. And it's been, I don't know, 8 months now or so. So I've had this car. But then, you know, you have the Talon here that I took out for 2 runs, and it already crapped out. So it's kind of hit or miss. But I'm just going to go ahead now and upgrade this thing and put some better electronics in it. It could definitely use the extra power too. You know, it's got a lot better air control now with the extra gearing and those tires. But this is also what I got for it. I have a 20-tooth pinion on the Talon right now, but I bought an 18-tooth. You know, I was trying to find some 18s, and I couldn't find any in the Saga and some other ones at the time. So I ordered the factory armor one. It comes with a little safety clip and all that good stuff. But I'm going to throw this one on there and see how I like the 18. I like the 20, but I'm hoping the 18 will help it run a little bit cooler. And that's just the only reason, really, I'm gearing it down a tiny bit, is just for the temperature-wise. But I think that's going to do it, guys. Everything else is all up and running. Had an awesome speed run with the Limitless today. Finally found the proper road for that thing, and I had a lot of fun with that thing out there. But everything else is all up and running and ready for its next bash, guys. Got some batteries charging up here, and we're ready to rip. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. That's going to do it for the video today, guys. So until next time, you all be safe. Be careful out there. Peace out, everybody.